You're standing in your kitchen after midnight, phone in your hand, scrolling through your banking app after a weekend with Tyler. He just leased a car nobody in his position should afford, and watching him spend all weekend, you're somehow the one who came home feeling behind. Here's the part nobody tells you. That feeling has almost nothing to do with your bank account. It's what I call the paycheck mirror, the number your brain checks first whenever it wants to know if you're winning, and it has been quietly running your entire financial life. Stick around, because by the end of this you'll know exactly where you actually stand, not where the paycheck mirror says you stand. And for most people watching right now, that gap is bigger and stranger than they think. My name is Marcus Whitfield, and here's the thing about the paycheck mirror. It only ever shows you two numbers, what you earn and what you can afford this month. It never shows you what you own or what you owe, which means it never shows you the number that decides whether you're building something real or just performing something convincing. Tyler checks his paycheck constantly. He knows his salary down to the last cent, and by every normal measure of a comfortable life, he's doing fine. Steady job in sales, a rented townhouse, a leased sedan he upgrades every couple of years, a calendar full of trips with friends living the same way. Tyler would tell you, without hesitating, that he's ahead of where he expected to be. Let's do the one thing Tyler has never done. Let's run his numbers. On the asset side, Tyler has a modest amount in a workplace retirement account and a small emergency cushion. That's the entire list, since his car is leased and his furniture came from a subscription he pays monthly. On the debt side, he's carrying a growing balance on 2 credit cards, plus what's left of a personal loan from a rough month a couple of years back. Subtract what he owes from what he owns, and Tyler's net worth isn't small, it's negative. Go ahead and hit like right now if you already suspect your own number might surprise you the same way, because this is exactly where the paycheck mirror gets caught lying. This is the paycheck mirror doing exactly what it was built to do. It reflects the lifestyle, it hides the ledger, and here's the demographic trap hiding underneath, the one almost nobody in their late 20s and 30s sees coming. A decent job title and a lifestyle that looks like everyone else's makes your brain conclude your finances must be fine too. Because why would the surface look so complete and the ledger underneath be so broken? None of this is really about Tyler being careless. It's about a culture that quietly insists you already look successful before you're allowed to feel secure, and paying for that appearance every single month is the actual price of admission nobody ever puts on a receipt. There's a version of Tyler's life that almost happened instead, and it belongs to someone named Derek. Same graduating class, same entry-level salary, same rented apartment in the same forgettable part of town. For the first 2 years, Derek and Tyler were financially indistinguishable. Then they made one different decision, and it split their future down the middle. Derek decided his lifestyle would not rise every time his paycheck did. First raise, he didn't upgrade his apartment. Second raise, he didn't lease a car. Instead, he built what I call the gap on purpose, the space between what he earned and what he spent, and pointed it at 2 targets. First, killing off his student loan. Second, once that hit 0, feeding a retirement account and a plain investment account every single month, on a fixed schedule. Derek isn't disciplined in some dramatic way. He still goes out. He still travels most years. He just never let his spending catch up to his income. Subscribe now if you want the full math walked through, step by step, because the distance between these 2 ordinary people is about to get harder to ignore. 4 years in, Tyler and Derek still look almost the same from the outside. Tyler has a slightly nicer car. Derek has a slightly older one. Put them side by side at a backyard barbecue, and you'd assume Tyler is winning, because Tyler looks like he's winning, and looking like you're winning is the entire business model of the paycheck mirror. He'll stand by the grill telling a story about a weekend trip, drink in hand, while Derek just listens and nods from the porch steps, and nobody at that barbecue would guess which one of them actually owns more of his own life. Underneath, Tyler's small debts from year 1 have grown because he's been making minimum payments while quietly adding new balances for a bachelor trip, a better phone, a couch he decided he deserved. Derek's small debt from year 1 is gone completely, and what used to be his loan payment flows straight into his investment account now, on the same day every month, like a bill he pays to his own future. By year 8, the story stops being subtle. Tyler has leased 3 cars in a row, upgraded his apartment twice, and carries a revolving balance across 2 cards that he pays down and rebuilds every few months, like bailing water out of a boat with a hole he's never bothered to find. He still tells people, half proud and half joking, that he's not really a numbers guy, as if that were a personality trait instead of the exact habit keeping him stuck. His retirement account has grown a little, mostly on autopilot from a default employer contribution he never once increased. Run his full net worth today, and it sits close to where it stood 4 years ago, not because nothing happened, but because every gain got absorbed by a lifestyle expanding at the exact same speed as his paycheck. Derek's picture looks almost boring by comparison, which is the entire point. Still driving an older car, still living in a modest place, still the guy at the barbecue nobody asks for advice, because nothing about him looks like advice worth asking for. But his investment account, fed the same modest amount every month for 8 straight years, has grown the way compounding actually grows, slowly at first and then unmistakably, until the account generates more in a single strong year than Derek puts into it by hand. He never out-earned Tyler. Some years Tyler made more than he did. Derek simply refused to let the paycheck mirror decide what his life was supposed to look like, and that refusal, repeated quietly month after month, is now doing more work than either of their paychecks ever did. Comment your current age below, because I want to see how many of you are standing exactly where Tyler was standing 4 years in, still fully convinced the mirror is telling you the truth. By year 10, the gap between them has stopped being a story about spending habits and started being a story about identity. Tyler doesn't think of himself as someone with negative net worth, because nobody who leases a nice car and travels twice a year thinks of themselves that way. He thinks of himself as ahead because the paycheck mirror only ever shows him the parts of his life that confirm it. He's mentioned, more than once, that Derek is still driving that same old car, always with a little laugh, always as proof of who's actually winning. Derek never argues the point. He's never once corrected him at a barbecue, never once pulled out a number to prove anything, because the entire strategy only works if nobody's keeping score out loud. And here's the twist most people never see coming, the one that flips this entire story upside down. It isn't Tyler who is 1 bad month away from disaster. It's the version of Tyler that everyone assumed was doing better than Derek, the confident one, the generous one, the one who always seemed to have more, who was actually carrying the fragile position the entire time. Derek, the one who looked like he was falling behind at every single barbecue, was the only one of the two who could survive losing his job for 6 months, rent and groceries and everything else, without his whole life quietly collapsing underneath him. The car everyone laughed about was never the point. It was the one asset in this entire story that owed nothing to anyone, and it kept owing nothing to anyone, long after everything Tyler owned had started quietly owing someone else. Think about that for a second, because it inverts everything the barbecue told you. The guy who looked comfortable was the exposed one. The guy who looked stuck was the only one with an actual floor underneath him. Nobody at that backyard, including Tyler himself, could have told you that just by watching the two of them stand there with their drinks. The paycheck mirror doesn't just hide a number. It hides which one of you is actually 1 bad season away from losing everything, and it hides it especially well from the person it's about to hurt the most. That's the real trap, and it was never about which of them earned more. It was about which of them let the paycheck mirror write the rules of their spending. Tyler out-earned Derek in 3 separate years and still finished further behind in every single one of them, because every extra dollar went straight back into looking like someone who didn't need to worry about money, instead of quietly becoming someone who actually didn't. I want you to sit with that for a second, because it applies directly to whatever your own number looks like right now. The paycheck mirror doesn't care how much you earn. It only cares how much of what you earn passes straight through your hands and back out the door, dressed up as a lifestyle nobody actually asked you to buy, sold back to you every month as proof that you're doing fine, right up until the month it isn't. Save this video if any part of the last 2 minutes felt a little too close to your own reality, because the next part is where I walk through exactly how someone standing where Tyler stands turns this around, starting from wherever they actually are right now. By year 12, there's no ambiguity left. Derek's investment account alone, without counting anything else he owns, has quietly crossed a line most people his age never reach. And it happened without one dramatic decision. No windfall, no lucky trade, no sudden raise. Just the same modest, boring amount, moved on the same day every month, for 12 straight years, while his lifestyle grew slower than his income the entire time. Tyler, meanwhile, finally hit a wall. A slow year at work turned into a rough 6 months, and for the first time, the paycheck mirror couldn't paper over the gap anymore. The credit cards he'd been rebuilding and paying down for a decade finally caught up with him all at once, at the exact moment his income dipped, which is precisely how the paycheck mirror always collects on what it's been hiding. He told a friend, half joking and half not, "I don't get it, I've had a good job this whole time." That sentence, more than any figure in this entire video, is the whole trap in one line. Here's what actually changes the trajectory, and it has nothing to do with earning more money first. The first move is running the real number, the actual net worth, the one the paycheck mirror was built to help you avoid checking. Most people are terrified of this step because they assume the number will confirm something bad about them. It won't. It will just be information, and information is the only thing that ever lets you close a gap you couldn't see before. Write down everything you own, write down everything you owe, subtract, and let the number be whatever it actually is, once, without flinching. The second move is picking one target and starving it on purpose, the same way Derek did with his loan in year 1. Not 5 financial goals running at once. 1. The debt that's been growing quietly in the background, attacked with real intention instead of minimum payments, until it's gone completely and stays gone. Everything else waits its turn. The third move is the one almost nobody wants to hear, because it sounds too simple to actually work. The moment your income goes up, your spending doesn't get to follow it automatically, on principle, no exceptions. That gap, the space between the raise and the new expense that would have quietly eaten it, is where every single dollar of Derek's advantage actually came from. It was never about the car he didn't lease. It was about where that money went instead, every month, without exception, for years on end, long after it stopped feeling like a sacrifice and started feeling like a habit he barely noticed anymore. None of this requires a bigger salary than Tyler's. It requires refusing to let the paycheck mirror set the terms of your own life, and choosing instead to check the number that actually tells you the truth, on a fixed schedule, whether you feel like checking it or not. So here's where that leaves you, standing in your own kitchen, phone in your hand, looking at your own version of that banking app. The paycheck mirror is still going to be there tomorrow, still whispering the same comparison it always whispers, still measuring you against whoever spent the most this weekend. You don't have to smash it, you just have to stop trusting it as the only measurement that matters, and start keeping the other number, the real one, somewhere you actually look on purpose, on a date you actually keep. Tyler isn't a bad person, and neither is anyone watching this who recognized a little too much of themselves in his story tonight. He just spent years checking the wrong number, the same way almost everyone around him was checking it too, which is exactly how the paycheck mirror stays convincing for so long. It has an entire generation checking it together, nodding along, quietly assuming everyone else's reflection must be more accurate than their own, and quietly building a life around a number that was never actually measuring anything real. You already know which number you've been checking. The only real question left is whether you're willing to run the other one, honestly, tonight, before you let one more paycheck slide through your hands and straight back out the door, dressed as a life you never actually chose for yourself. I'm Marcus Whitfield. This is Whitfield Money, and the next video walks through exactly how far one honest number can move you in a single year.